Well, I want to get into something that I usually don't get into too heavily. I try to avoid it, and that's conspiracies. Now, not that I don't believe in conspiracies, and I know I've been criticized a little bit for not totally biting into the anti-silver and anti-gold conspiracy. Well, I do believe in that, but I also realize markets go up and down and they have corrections. Aluminum goes up and down too, and there's no conspiracy against aluminum. So, but I want to get into a little bit of this because it is kind of important to look at this, but just don't get too crazy about it. That's one thing. That's one reason I kind of avoid it because there's so much on the internet about it, and I want to kind of look at it from like looking at the driver's seat. In other words, you know, you got to try to put yourself a little bit in the head of the people that are into numerology and all that type of stuff, and it's probably not too far of a stretch of an imagination to say that, hey, people in the world that control the world are into numerology and the occult and different things like that. It's really not. It's really not a conspiracy theory. They believe in it. I don't believe in it. I think it's a stupid number. I mean, a number is this. There's a 3. There's an 11. There's a 9. There's a 5. There's a 6 or whatever. It's a damn number, you know. If it's money, the bigger the number, the better. If it's yours, that's the way I look at it. As far as I'm concerned, that's my take on it. But just knowing that there's people that believe in this stuff, sometimes it's good to look at it. Now, I don't want to play a Harold Camping. The end of the world is coming in May 2011, and also we had other things out there. Even Paul Drockton fell into this, the 11-11-11 thing, that the markets would all crash. Go short the S&P, 11-11-11, the Illuminati are going to crash the markets. I don't want to play into this, but I think you should be like casually aware of these things. Like I posted something about an Illuminati clock. I thought that was pretty interesting. I don't know if that 9-9 countdown date, 9-9-12, that's coming up in this next Sunday. I don't think anything catastrophic is going to happen, but I want to point out some other things. And also, I'm going to kind of point this out to some of the markets, some of the garbage that Lindsey Williams said. I don't have too much faith in that guy too much anymore, but this is basically the, you talk about this Mayan calendar stuff, the 12/21, 2012. I don't know. To me, I'm not really into this stuff, but I'm going to put it out here just to make some people aware, but they're going to go jump off a cliff or something. I don't think people want to do that kind of stuff. But 12/21, 2012, if you add up all the numbers to single digits, you get an 11, right? With some people, into the occult numerology, 11's a big important number. Like 9/11/1990, that's when George Bush Sr. made his famous speech about, the New World Order, and that type of stuff that people were all getting worked up about, which they probably should be because the New World Order probably is not going to give too much in the way of individual rights to people, freedom of speech and that type of stuff. It's a bunch of control freaks. But the fact that he made that speech on 9/11/1990, that probably says something because from what I gather and what I think a lot of people gather, a little common sense, the 11 to 9/11 date means something to them. Not to me, but to them. Then, of course, 9/11/2001, we had the bombing of the World Trade Center. Building 7 went down, which a lot of Americans think was an inside job. I thought it was an inside job from pretty much day one when nobody was thinking it because I was wondering how the hell those stupid buildings fall down so easily. And, when I got into Building 7, I says, yeah. I think the real target was Building 7, but, hey, it happened. Now, the next one we got coming up here is 9/11/2012. What's going to happen? I don't know. Probably nothing. Maybe somebody else will make a speech. I know they got a lot of things going on. I made a video about it. I thought silver blast-off date might be 9/12/2012 because of a number of things that are coming up with meetings in the euro, with the German courts going to rule about the euro, which the Fed meeting that's going to be coming up on 9/12. you know, yeah, it could be. And I'm going to actually interject something here because I want to get some realistic planning going here. Um, Jim Rogers I was listening to what he was saying. He's saying that, hey, on like the euro is going to eventually have a lot of problems, but they're just going to keep printing money because they want to survive to the next election. Obama's going to be doing basically the same type of a policy. He'd be putting pressure on the Fed somehow because he wants to survive to the next election. And I'm going to say this as a person that pretty much always voted Republican. I think Obama's going to win because Romney has got the personality of a dead fish. So I don't know. I mean, I just don't think Romney's going to win, man. So despite the elite are behind him or whatever, but which might mean that there's rumors out there again, which there's rumors every damn month for the last years and years and years that Israel is going to attack Iran in September. But there is a lot of logic behind some of this stuff because because if Obama gets in for a second term, it's going to be a lot tougher for them to get the war going when he's entrenched in the second term. But they start the war before he gets inaugurated, it may be the best timing. So I don't know. I'm trying to plan something out here because I'm thinking, there may be a number of events that really drive up the industrial commodities a lot. And the reason I'm saying this is because Jim Rogers is predicting this. Mark Farber's predicting this. 2013 is going to look like a lousy year for the economy. And you know what that means? Lousy for industrial commodities, which means the shiny silver stuff, the silver, the platinum, and the palladium. So I'm thinking if they got some seriously big gains due to a conflict that starts in the Middle East, and you start seeing it going up to, like, silver go up to record heights, it breaks through 50, and let's figure if it breaks through 50, it's going to hit 60, maybe 70. In my case, my decision will be to sell a pretty good portion of the physical stuff and wait for a pullback, because I think the pullback might not occur right away. But if we have this major downturn like Mark Farber's predicting and Jim Rogers is predicting in 2013, and we already have some record gains in a lot of the metals, time to dump them. I'm going to be saying the exact opposite of what the silver channels are going to be saying, because the silver channels are all going to be saying it's going to be going way the hell up. The banksters are breaking. The whole system's falling apart. And with all these dates in here like 9/11, 2012 coming up, I don't know if that's going to be anything. But if you take a look at 9/11/2012 to 12/21/2012, it's 101 days. If that means something, I don't know. But the thing is, what's important is, it's not that these stupid numbers mean anything in themselves. It's that some people actually do believe in this, and some people that are very big, powerful, controlling forces in the world believe in this stuff. And I think they do things by these dates, but you just can't read too much into it. But you should be casually aware of it. So some stuff could be coming up this year. I know Lindsey Williams was talking about the elite got something really big surprise planned for 2012. I don't know if that means anything. Lindsey Williams has been wrong a lot of times, but it could be something. If I was the elite, I'd be screwing with people's heads with this crap left and right too. So looking at it from my angle, I'd say, yeah, there's something to this. Like in 1941, the Pentagon construction started. 60 years later to the day, the Pentagon got hit by a plane, but it looked like a rocket to me. I got to say that too. I was kind of in on a conspiracy theory with 911. I don't think it's a theory, man. I think I was in on that stuff from day one. So I'm not a conspiracist. I'm a realist. So if I look at facts, don't jive with the official story. I believe in what the facts say. I just go practical all the way. The hell with it. Then on 9/11/1972, 11 Israeli athletes were killed in Munich Games in a terrorist attack. I don't know if this means anything or not, because I know that was a terrible attack, but I don't know if 911 has anything to do with that. But just a couple points of interest. There's a lot of them you can put out here, but I'm not really getting into this too far. But there could be something coming up that maybe, we're starting to see the metals take off, right? This week, there's a lot of numbers coming out. I mean, you might see some seesawing in and out. Like if I see silver go up to 34.35 and pull back down to 30.31, I'm probably going to buy leverage then, because I think I'm thinking it's probably going to start doing a pretty high explosive move to the upside, maybe, and it's not going to go straight up, but I think the next major correction is going to be around when it breaks all-time highs. And it could surprise the crap out of us. And I'm thinking is the reason it may do this is that if there's this war with Iran comes up before, it's like say before the election, because Obama looks like he's going to be in the driver's seat again. Not with her, just he's going to be in the driver's seat with his Valerie Gerard, the the White House secretary, the White House staff secretary, whatever her whole name is. She runs the show for him. But if he's in the driver's seat again for another term, Israel is probably going to, I think that's a good bet. Israel is probably going to hit early. And if weather-wise, they have to do it like in the fall. They can't wait till the winter because it gets too rainy out and all this type of stuff. So all those things can drive the metals up a lot. Oil, gold, the whole deal. And, if we get a lot of crazy events like this, say, for instance, Iran gets attacked, oil prices go through the roof, there's more QE, I know what the Silver Channel is going to be saying. Everything's falling apart. You're going to see silver go way up. But I'm just trying to be a little more realistic here. And it's going to go past 60 and 70. It is. But if I see some kind of gains like that, I'm going to sell a significant portion of it, because I have to go by what the two people I respect the most are saying, Mark Farber and Jim Rogers, that there's going to be a major slowdown in 2013. And a major slowdown to me is very bad for industrial commodities, which is silver, platinum, and palladium. Now, it may be smart to trade some for gold, but my personal opinion on gold is if I felt like they could never screw with this stuff ever, I would be a lot more into gold. I am just afraid that they can confiscate it somehow. And so that's one thing I'm not too keen on. So I believe that we might see some serious upturn here, an upswing in the markets. But like I said, I'm going to try to pick a little bit better entry point to go in on leverage. Like, we're going to see a lot of news that's going to go back and forth here coming up just this week, and also with the Federal Reserve meeting, and also with the ruling by the German court next week. So the markets could be, you might see silver get a dollar gain here, a dollar gain there, and then maybe it'll drop down a few bucks. But if I see something, like, I'm not going to believe it's going to go down to 22 or 21 or anything like that, right? But if I see silver go up to like 34, 35 in short order, and it drops down to 30, 31, that would be my entry point on triple leverage. And I'll probably get a little nervous and sell it too early if I start getting some gains on it, because, triple leverage is some pretty scary stuff. But like, I want to repeat again, for physical silver, if we start seeing silver go breaking some new record highs, I'm going to sell like a little bit. I'll probably just experiment selling tiny portion of it, 50 or 100 ounces even, tiny portion. And when it hits 60, I'll sell some more. Maybe if it hits 70, I'll sell a little bit more then, because I have to go. And I know the silver blogger is going to be wrong about this, I think. Eventually it's probably going to go to several $100s an ounce and all this garbage. But in 2013, if it hits like $60, $70 or $75, some kind of crazy amount like in early 2013, and we have this pullback, it may go down into the 40s again. And, they'll be just pulling out the bankster conspiracy cards left and right. And that's not the game I'm going to be playing, because I realize things just don't go up in a straight line. So I'm trying to judge some of this stuff, and I'm trying to point out sometimes it's good to look at these conspiracies, even with the numerology and the 911 dates. I don't know. And somehow that's going to play into, the people that are into the metals. Because when they start seeing it go up, they're going to think it's going to go. If they say, like, we see some serious gains for the end of this year, we might. I mean, silver might be at an all-time record high at the end of this year. That fast. That fast. But, when that happens, you're going to have 99.9% of the people out there into the silver bloggers and all that type of stuff going to be predicting $100 and more and $200 and all this other garbage. And I think they're all going to be wrong. So I'm going to do my own thing, but it's probably not going to be the popular thing because actually if you do the popular thing all the time, the majority gets fleeced. The majority gets fleeced, but you can't always do the opposite of what the majority does either because sometimes the majority is right. It's just that you have to know where that turning point is. But I think, just repeat myself again, but when you got two guys that are very good at being contrarians and going where other people haven't gone and actually picking out things correct when everybody else has been wrong, like Mark Farber and Jim Rogers, and they're both saying 2013, say first or second quarter is going to look like a bad downturn. Well, how the hell could the commodities keep going up now, especially if they get up to record highs? So I want to see if I got this right. It's a little bit of a guesswork, but considering all these Illuminati dates and all this other garbage, hey, it might be the time for the conflict with Iran, huh? It might be. So let's see how this goes out, and let's see how this plays out, because I'm trying to give some practical advice mixed in with possibly what the elite players in the world do and how they're gonna play this game out. Because I do believe in the conspiracy stuff, but I'd rather kind of judge how they're playing the game so I can profit by it. I think that's a very important consideration. Not just to say, doom and gloom, conspiracy, and all this other garbage. How can